This is Ben Summer. I own and operate bandsLikeRush.com, a music discovery podcast and blog featuring up-and-coming progressive rock bands. Enjoy this video edition of the podcast and check out my own music. Visit my website at bensummer.com. If you sign up for the email list, you'll get 3 free downloads. The Vital Might is a Boston-based prog rock and punk trio, post-punk really. Today I speak with the band's guitarist, singer, and primary songwriter, Andy Milk. We hit on several topics, including the recording and production process the band follows. Always interesting to me, how Andy achieves his really big guitar sound, which is really key as a power trio. How their stylistic mixing and matching compositional style, is achieved. They'll move from grunge to pop to metal to, pretentious prog all in one song. And I also make hopefully flatter Andy with some comparisons of his band to other music, including Duran's lead singer Simon Le Bon, for whom he is a dead ringer vocally. We also hear 2 tracks from the band, so please listen in and enjoy the podcast. So I'm here with Andy Milk. This is bandsLikeRush.com. He's the guitarist. Is that right, Andy?
Guitarist and singer.
Right, for the Boston-based band, The Vital Might. Andy, welcome. Why don't you just give us a little insight into what your band is all about and what you're doing lately?
Well, we're based out of Boston. We've been together as a band for, I think, about 5 years. We put out a record on our own called Obsidian back in 2006, and then we put together... had some personnel changes. We have a new album called Red Planet that we put out ourselves, and it was put out again by 10T Records. We're kind of all over the place as far as what we think our style is.
Yeah.
Some people say prog. Sometimes we say it. We don't necessarily set out to do it, but so it just comes across that way sometimes.
What else do people say? So prog, other.
Some of the bands, it's going to be nice to actually hear some of our influences be called out. I'm a fan of Minus the Bear, even heavier stuff like Mastodon. But I'm also into some more singer-songwriter stuff like Jeff Buckley or Ray LaMontagne. We haven't really heard either of those last two, but that's.
Well, I think combine. Even if you haven't heard someone. Call you out, though you believe you have that influence. Combining any those 2 or 3 bands in one usually equals prog, because I think people, you know what I mean. So if you're doing anything off the beaten path with harmony, melody, lyrical content, theme, rhythm, you're prog almost as the at the first level anyway. Yeah.
When we play live, it's typically we're either too loud for the bands we're playing with, or we're too quiet for the bands we're playing with. Because our set can go from like a singer-songwriter song to odd time, heavy, lots of loud guitars and cymbals.
Right. No, I hear you. So I absolutely heard that. So when I listen to new bands and try to mainly because I run this interview site, but also so I can glean what I like. I make mental notes. What does this sound like to me? So when I was listening through your work online, I heard, kind of a live sound. I don't know if you guys record, all live in the studio, but it sure sounds like it has a kind of that vibe and energy. So am I right or wrong on that, first of all?
I think a chunk of it is live, but we definitely do some overdubs. I mean, we're a three-piece band, so we chunked up the guitars, and there's a couple songs where I do my actual own harmonies. So
yeah, can't get away from that.
Yeah, we tried to get it, because a lot of times people, our live show was our that was what we were all about until we recorded anything, just like any band. But like, people were like, try to get this energy recorded. So, we did what we could.
So I was here, I heard that, which is kind of a punk, approach. But, you hear 3 or 4 guitar parts and the same voice doubling. It obviously gives it away, but still. I also heard the metal and post grunge stuff. And the popish melodies at times. So I hear what you're saying when you're saying sometimes you have an unusual or unhealthy mix for the touring gigs anyway.
Yeah, it's hard. You sit down and you're like, I'm gonna write. You don't want to be like, I want to write another one that sounds just like that one we just did. It's what you're feeling at the time. Like, when you get a little bit crazier, a little mellower. Or sometimes I even do exactly opposite of whatever the last thing we just wrote or worked on.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. So, what was I going to say? You made a point that you've played out and played live as a band before you even recorded something. I know, like most bands do, you said. That's absolutely true. Although, in these days, there's so much of mad scientist, musician in basement recording, refining, then doing, I don't know, leaving it in the locker, or then forming band or doing something solo. So,
yeah,
you're traditional in that respect. You're band oriented.
I mean, most of the projects I've done, I had one band for many years. Like at the end of college, that that was definitely the band, all in together kind of thing. And then the project after that was like my project, and that was a little bit more mad scientist, and I sort of formed a band around it. Yeah. And actually, the Vital Might actually kind of came out of the breakup of another project I had, and I sort of took the songs I liked and found some other guys that liked them too, and kind of organically formed the band that way.
Cool. So, are you? Who does the songwriting? Is it a split thing, or do you do most of it?
I do most of it, yeah. I mean, I write all the lyrics and not necessarily the riffs. Like, I write a good chunk of the riffs. Structure, I'm definitely the structure guy in the band. But I bring in the riffs and maybe some lyrics, and then we kind of all bash out together. So they definitely have the other guys have a good chunk of the songwriting, especially since I can sort of play bass, but I definitely can't play any drums.
Well, yeah.
So. And I need their help.
So you leave the rhythmic complexities up to your man on drums.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Let's listen to a full track for the band's latest album. This is called Phantom Spaceman.
off the trail. Showing me a shriveled shell, loveless, eyeless, and frail.
When you say that you start in the on the performing stage and then try to translate that and go record later, how do you decide what to overdub, how to produce the recorded product, and then how do you translate that back, if at all, to the live performance?
Well, yeah, it's actually interesting kind of progress that our songs have gone through. Is that a lot of times we have some harmonies written. If one of the songs, a specific song we played out a lot, the kind of our bass player or even a drummer, Evan or Rick, they kind of jump in and they'll throw in a harmony just randomly at a show, and then we'll be like, oh yeah, well, we don't often sit down and practice and write too many harmonies in those kind of layered parts. And then, when we get to recording, some songs are so new that they have no harmonies written. And then, we worked with a great producer and we all kind of came up with the harmony and layer